Let's bring it a little closer to home. You've got WTI and Brent crude both sitting above $120 a barrel. We now understand that U.S. President Joe Biden should announce his visit to Saudi Arabia in just hours from now from the White House. Speaking of that kind of risk, what are the risks right now for the GCC countries?
Well, clearly, as we sit here with oil up at $120 a barrel, that's been a very strong fundamental, if you wish, in terms of sovereign revenues. I wrote a piece last week that did an update on the GCC region, state by state, member by member, and concluded that for the time being, while we're seeing this backdrop of increasing recession risk, stagflation risk in the US and particularly in Europe, here in the GCC, we're continuing to benefit from high oil prices. We're seeing a reduction in fiscal deficits. We're seeing a return to surplus for the first time, in 10 years for KSA, for the first time since pre-pandemic in Europe. So for the oil producers, this is a clear boon, if you wish, for the time being. And the weaker members of the GCC as well are benefiting on the coattails of the strength that's bringing into the major producers.
And how much, in your view, how important is that, given the fact that they're going to necessarily have to support countries that are feeling the heat when it comes to food crisis, when it comes to inflation, when it comes to stagflation? And I'm talking specifically about Egypt and Lebanon and Jordan.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Not to mention the North African.
Yeah, no, and that's a great point. And my colleague Glenn Wepner wrote a piece on food scarcity just 10 days ago or so that highlighted those exact risks. I think what we do know here in the GCC is that we've become very sort of loyal to our neighbours, within the GCC and with outside the GCC as well, in terms of those sort of monetary support mechanisms as and when they're needed. And I think we'll continue to see those. We've got the benefit in terms of, as I say, solid sovereign revenues from an oil price at these sort of levels. And it will help to concretize, if you wish, to solidify the ability of this region to help sort of neighbours elsewhere within the MENA space, should we say, to address some of the the current issues that are being felt.